Bruno Fernandes drops another bombshell, where he wants to play after leaving Manchester United. Welcome back to United Daily Updates, your most trusted source for everything Manchester United. Before we get into this massive story, make sure you hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel right now. We are the channel that brings you honest news, real analysis, and the stories that matter most to United fans. No fake rumors. No clickbait headlines. Just genuine football coverage you can rely on. Today I need to talk about Bruno Fernandes again. Just when we thought the story was over after his shocking revelation that United wanted to sell him, he has dropped another bombshell. In part 2 of his interview with Canal 11, Bruno has revealed exactly where he wants to play when he eventually leaves Manchester United. And trust me, what he said is going to make you think. It is going to make you wonder. It is going to raise serious questions about how much longer we will have our captain at Old Trafford. Spain, Italy, maybe even back to Portugal. These are the leagues Bruno dreams about. These are the places he sees himself playing before his career ends. Let me break down everything he said and what it means for Manchester United. Bruno opens up about his dream destinations. Let me start by telling you exactly what Bruno Fernandes said in this second part of his interview. Because his words matter. They give us a window into his thinking about the future. When asked about life after Manchester United, Bruno did not hold back. He said he has always wanted to remain in a place for as long as he is wanted. But the moment he feels that he is not 100% wanted, then he will talk to the club and say that he wants to leave. That right there is the key sentence. The warning shot to Manchester United. Make me feel valued or I am gone. Then Bruno talked about where he would like to play next. He said he would like to try the Spanish league because he has never played in Spain. He also said he would like to play for one of the clubs in Italy that competes for big aims like the league title, especially because he really enjoyed living in Italy. Those are his top 2 choices. Spain first because it is the one major league he has never experienced. Italy second because he has history there and loved living in that country. But he did not stop there. Bruno also opened up about possibly returning to Portugal one day. He said he has thought about returning. Going back to Sporting would be his first choice out of affection and respect. But he worries that going back to where you were once happy can tarnish the image you have left. This is fascinating stuff. This is a player thinking deeply about his career. About his legacy. About where he wants to be and what he wants to achieve in the years he has left. And here is something that really stood out to me. Bruno said he wants to extend his career for as long as possible. He does not mind playing in lower leagues eventually. He even mentioned playing district football in Portugal, which is basically grassroots level. He said you play in the district for love, it feels different. That tells you everything about Bruno Fernandes as a person. This is not someone chasing money. This is not someone who only cares about fame and glory. This is someone who genuinely loves football and wants to keep playing it at any level for as long as he can. But those comments about Spain and Italy, those are the ones that matter most right now. Those are the ones that tell us Bruno is already planning his exit from Manchester United. Why Spain is on Bruno's radar. Let me talk about why playing in Spain appeals to Bruno Fernandes so much. What makes La Liga so attractive to him? The most obvious reason is that he has never played there. Think about Bruno's career path. He started in Italy playing for Novara, Udinese, and Sampdoria. Then he moved to Portugal and became a star at Sporting. Then he came to England and joined Manchester United. Italy, Portugal, England. Those are the 3 countries where Bruno has played professional football. But Spain? That is the missing piece. That is the big European league he has never experienced. For a player who clearly loves new challenges and wants to test himself in different environments, that gap must feel significant. La Liga is one of the best leagues in the world. It has a completely different style to the Premier League. The football is more technical, more possession-based, less physical. Bruno would thrive in that kind of environment. His technical ability would shine even brighter. His passing range would be more appreciated. His creativity would have more space to work with. Now think about which clubs in Spain might interest him. Real Madrid have to be at the top of the list. They have been linked with Bruno for years. They always want the best players. They can afford massive wages. And playing at the Bernabeu for the biggest club in the world would be a dream for most footballers. Imagine Bruno in that famous white shirt, creating chances for Vinicius Jr. and whoever else Madrid have up front, controlling games from midfield, winning La Liga titles and Champions League trophies. It would be incredible. Barcelona could also work. Despite all their financial problems, they always find a way to sign big names. And Bruno would fit their style perfectly. He loves to play quick passing football. He has the vision to unlock defenses. He could be the creative spark they need. Then you have Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone loves players who work hard and have technical quality. Bruno has both in abundance. He would be a perfect Simeone player. The only question is whether Atletico can afford his wages. Even clubs like Sevilla or Real Sociedad could appeal to Bruno if he wants something different. A club where he could be the main star. Where everything goes through him. Where he can really make his mark. The weather in Spain is another factor. Bruno mentioned in his first interview that after 6 years of cold and rain in Manchester, the sunshine would be nice. Well, Madrid and Barcelona and Seville have sunshine almost year-round. That is a big lifestyle upgrade. So yeah, Spain makes complete sense as Bruno's next destination. Both as a football challenge and as a place to live with his family. Why Italy means so much to Bruno. But if I am being honest, I think Italy is even more likely than Spain. And everything Bruno said in this interview suggests he feels the same way. Why Italy? Because that is where Bruno's professional journey really began. That is where he learned how to be a footballer. That is where he grew up as a man. Bruno spent years in Italy playing for 3 different clubs. Novara in Serie B. Then Udinese and Sampdoria in Serie A. He made over 100 appearances in Italian football between 2012 and 2017. Those were crucial years in his development. But it is more than just football. Bruno lived in Italy. He experienced Italian culture. He learned the language. He made friends there. He has deep connections to the country that go beyond just playing matches. And here is the really important part. Bruno's daughter was born in Italy. That creates a bond that never goes away. His daughter is Italian by birth. She has Italian citizenship. She wants to learn Italian according to Bruno. As a father, giving his daughter the chance to connect with her birth country by moving back to Italy would mean so much to Bruno. It would let her learn the language properly, experience the culture, understand where she comes from. Bruno said in the interview that he has many links to the country. You can hear the emotion in his words when he talks about Italy. This is not just another league to him. This is a place he genuinely loves. A place that shaped who he is. But here is the key detail that tells you Bruno is serious about this. He said he would only want to play for a club in Italy that competes for big aims like the league title. He is not interested in going there just for nostalgia or an easy life. He wants to win trophies. That tells you Bruno still has fire in his belly. Still has ambition. Still wants to compete at the highest level. He is not thinking about winding down his career yet. He wants to go to Italy and challenge for Serie A titles and Champions League spots. So which Italian clubs fit that description? Inter Milan, AC Milan, Juventus, Napoli, maybe Roma or Atalanta if they continue their upward trajectory. Those are the only teams that realistically compete for major honors in Italy. Inter Milan make the most sense to me. They just won Serie A. They compete in the Champions League every season. They have money from their Chinese ownership. They need creative midfielders. Bruno would be perfect for them. Can you imagine Bruno playing at the San Siro? Creating chances for Lautaro Martinez? Controlling games in that famous blue and black shirt? It would be amazing to watch. AC Milan are rebuilding and trying to get back to their glory days. Bruno could be a key part of that project. He would bring leadership, quality, and a winning mentality. Milan fans would absolutely love him. Juventus are always in the market for big names. They might not be as dominant as they once were, but they remain one of Italy's biggest clubs. Bruno would instantly become their most important player. Napoli won Serie A in 2023 and want to get back to that level. Bruno could help them do it. Playing in Naples with those passionate fans would be an incredible experience. The point is, Italy makes perfect sense for Bruno. It ticks every box. The football challenge. The lifestyle. The family connection. The chance to win trophies. Everything lines up. The complicated Sporting Portugal situation. Now let me talk about the Portugal option. Because this one is emotional and complicated for Bruno. Sporting Lisbon is where Bruno became a star. He played there from 2017 to 2020. 3 incredible years where he scored 63 goals in 137 matches. Where he became captain. Where he won trophies. Where the fans worshipped him. Leaving Sporting to join Manchester United was the right career move. It took Bruno to the Premier League and made him a global superstar. But there was always a sense that the story was not quite finished. That he could have achieved more at Sporting. That he left too soon. Bruno clearly thinks about going back one day. He said in the interview that out of affection and respect, his first choice in Portugal would be Sporting. That tells you how much the club means to him. How important those years were. But he is also scared. Scared of ruining what he built there. He said going back to where you were once happy can tarnish the image you have left. He does not want to spoil the beautiful memory sporting fans have of him. This is a real concern, and it shows how thoughtful Bruno is about his legacy. We have all seen it happen. Great players return to their old clubs years later. They are past their prime. They struggle. The magic is gone. Suddenly the beautiful memories get replaced with disappointment and sadness. Ronaldo went back to Manchester United and it ended badly. Thierry Henry returned to Arsenal on loan and it was awkward. These things happen in football. Bruno does not want to be another cautionary tale. He said he does not want to drag himself there. That he would only return to Sporting if he can still add something. If he can still perform at a high level. If he can genuinely help the team rather than just being there for sentimental reasons. That is actually very admirable. Many players go back to their old clubs for one last payday or because the fans demand it. Bruno is saying he will only return if it makes football sense. If he can maintain his standards and contribute meaningfully. He also mentioned family reasons for possibly returning to Portugal. His family is Portuguese. They have roots there. Going home would make sense eventually, especially as his career winds down and he thinks about life after football. But here is the reality. Bruno is only 31 years old. He probably has another 4 or 5 years at the top level. He is not ready for a sentimental return to Sporting yet. That is a move for later. Maybe when he is 35 or 36. Maybe after he has tried Spain and Italy first. For now, Sporting remains a beautiful dream. A possibility for the future. But not an immediate plan. What this tells us about Bruno as a person. Let me step back for a moment and talk about what all of these comments reveal about Bruno Fernandes as a person and as a player. First, he is incredibly honest. Almost too honest for his own good. Most players give boring safe answers in interviews. They say what people want to hear. They avoid controversy. But Bruno tells the truth even when it creates problems. His comments about United wanting to sell him caused a storm. Now these comments about wanting to play in Spain and Italy will create even more headlines. More speculation. More questions about his commitment to United. But I actually respect the honesty. At least we know where we stand with Bruno. At least he is not lying to us or pretending everything is perfect. He tells us exactly what he thinks and feels. Second, Bruno is still very ambitious. Even at 31. Even after 6 years at United. Even after achieving so much already. He still wants new challenges. New leagues. New experiences. He is not content to just coast through the final years of his career. That ambition is what separates great players from good players. The hunger to keep proving yourself. The desire to test yourself in different environments. The refusal to get comfortable or settle. Third, he thinks deeply about his legacy. He worries about how he will be remembered. He does not want to tarnish his image at Sporting by going back when he is past it. He wants every decision he makes to be the right one for his career and his reputation. That shows real maturity. That shows someone who understands that your career is about more than just playing matches. It is about the story you leave behind. The memories people have of you. The way you are remembered when you retire. Fourth, Bruno genuinely loves football. Not just the glamorous parts. Not just the big matches and the trophies. He loves the game itself. He said he wants to play for as long as possible. Even in lower leagues. Even district football. That is pure love of the sport. How many Premier League players earning hundreds of thousands per week would say they want to play district football one day? Not many. But Bruno means it. You can tell from how he talks about it. And finally, Bruno wants to feel wanted. He said he will stay at United as long as he feels desired. The moment he senses he is not 100% wanted, he will ask to leave. That is the key to understanding Bruno's mindset right now. He gave United his loyalty by turning down Saudi Arabia. But he felt like the club did not really want him anyway. That hurt him deeply. And now he is making it clear that his future depends on how valued he feels. How much time does United have left with Bruno? This brings us to the big question. How much longer will Bruno Fernandes be a Manchester United player? His contract expires in June 2027. That is 2.5 more years from now. United also have an option to extend it by another year, which would take him to 2028. So on paper, Bruno could be at United for another 3.5 years. But contracts are just paper. They do not tell the full story. Not when a player is openly talking about wanting to play in other leagues. Not when he has admitted the club wanted to sell him. Not when he has said he will leave the moment he does not feel wanted. My prediction? Bruno will see out his current contract and leave in 2027 when he is 32 or 33 years old. That would give him 2.5 more years at United. 2.5 more years to try to win trophies at Old Trafford. 2.5 more years to cement his legacy as one of the club's modern greats. Then he will move to Spain or Italy for one final big contract. Maybe 3 or 4 years at Real Madrid or Inter Milan. Playing at a high level. Winning more trophies. Experiencing a different league and culture. And then maybe, just maybe, he finishes his career with a sentimental return to Sporting when he is 36 or 37. Going back as a legend. Playing for the love of it rather than money. Giving the fans one more chance to see their hero in that green and white shirt. That is the path I see for Bruno. And honestly, based on everything he has said, it feels realistic. But there is also a chance he leaves sooner. If United continue to struggle this season and next. If they finish outside the top 4 again. If they do not win any trophies. If Bruno feels the project is going nowhere. Or if Real Madrid come calling with a huge offer in summer 2026. If Inter Milan make him their top target. If a club that is actually winning trophies wants him badly enough to pay United's asking price. Bruno might push for a move before his contract expires. And after the way United treated him last summer, after making him feel unwanted, the club would probably let him go. They owe him that much at least. So United fans need to cherish every moment we have left with Bruno. Whether it is 2 more years or 3 or just 1 more season. Because the clock is ticking. And when he leaves, we will realize just how much we are going to miss him. Which clubs will want Bruno when he leaves? Let me talk about which clubs might actually try to sign Bruno Fernandes when he does eventually leave Manchester United. In Spain, Real Madrid are the obvious first choice. They have wanted creative midfielders for years. They can offer Champions League football every season. They can pay wages that most clubs cannot match. And they can promise Bruno that he will compete for La Liga and Champions League titles. Carlo Ancelotti would absolutely love a player like Bruno. He appreciates players who work hard and have technical quality. Bruno would fit perfectly into any Real Madrid midfield. And the fans at the Bernabeu would worship him. Barcelona are less likely because of their constant financial problems. But they always seem to find money when they really want a player. And Bruno would suit their possession-based style perfectly. Imagine him playing alongside Pedri. Creating chances. Controlling games. It would be beautiful football. Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone is interesting. Simeone loves warriors. Players who fight for every ball. Players who never give up. Bruno is exactly that type of player. The only question is whether Atletico can afford the wages he would demand. In Italy, Inter Milan make the most sense to me. They are the reigning Serie A champions. They qualify for the Champions League every year. They have wealthy owners who can spend money. And they desperately need a creative midfielder to replace some of their aging stars. Bruno would be perfect for Inter. He would instantly become their most important player. The fans at San Siro would love his passion and commitment. And he would have a real chance to win Serie A titles and compete for the Champions League. AC Milan are rebuilding and trying to return to their glory days. Bruno could be a massive part of that project. He would bring quality, leadership, and a winning mentality. Milan have the history and the fans and the ambition. They just need the right players. Bruno could be one of them. Juventus are always in the market for big names. They might not be the dominant force they once were, but they remain one of Italy's biggest clubs. Bruno would give them a huge boost. He might be the player who helps them get back to the top of Serie A. Napoli won the title in 2023 and have ambitions to challenge again. Bruno could help make that happen. And playing in Naples with the most passionate fans in Italy would be an amazing experience for him. Roma and Atalanta are outside shots. Both clubs have good managers and talented squads. Both compete for Champions League places. Bruno could be the final piece that pushes them into title contention. The point is, there will be no shortage of interest in Bruno Fernandes. Top clubs all over Europe will want him. He will have his pick of destinations. He can choose based on where gives him the best chance to win trophies and where his family would be happiest. That is actually a nice position to be in. Knowing that when you leave Manchester United, you will still be wanted by the biggest clubs in the world. That tells you how good Bruno still is even at 31. What Manchester United must do now. So what should Manchester United do about all of this? How should they respond to Bruno's comments about his future? First, do not panic. Bruno is still under contract until 2027. He has said clearly that he wants to stay as long as he feels wanted. United have time to make this work. Second, make Bruno feel valued every single day. Not just with words but with actions. Give him a new improved contract if he wants one. Make him the highest paid player at the club if necessary. Show him through money and through how you treat him that he is absolutely central to everything United are trying to do. Third, win trophies. That is what will keep Bruno at United more than anything else. He has said repeatedly that he has unfinished business at the club. That he wants to win the Premier League and the Champions League with Manchester United. Give him that chance and he will stay longer. Fourth, build a proper team around him. Stop wasting his prime years with average players who cannot compete for major honours. Bring in top-quality signings who can help Bruno win trophies. Show him that United are serious about being the best again. Fifth, treat him with respect. Never again should Bruno feel like the club wants to sell him. Never again should he feel undervalued or unwanted. He has earned the right to be treated like the legend he is. And finally, when the time comes for Bruno to leave, let him go with grace. Do not try to force him to stay against his will. Do not make it difficult or bitter. Let him leave as a hero who gave everything to Manchester United. Let him go to Spain or Italy or back to Portugal with the club's blessing. The worst thing United can do is take Bruno for granted. Assume he will always be there. Fail to appreciate what he brings every single week. That is how you lose great players. That is how you create situations where they cannot wait to leave. Bruno has been nothing but professional and committed since joining United. He has given his all in every match. He has been brilliant on the pitch and a model professional off it. He deserves to be treated better than he was last summer when the club was happy to let him go for the right price. United need to learn from that mistake. They need to show Bruno that his loyalty was not misplaced. They need to prove that he made the right choice by turning down Saudi Arabia and staying. Do that and Bruno will give United 2 or 3 more brilliant years. Fail to do it and he might be gone much sooner than anyone expects. How United fans should process this news. I know hearing your captain talk about playing for other clubs hurts. It stings. It feels like a betrayal even though logically we know it is not. But let me give you a different way to think about this situation. Bruno Fernandes has been honest with us. He has not lied. He has not pretended everything is perfect. He has told us exactly how he feels and what he is thinking. Is not that better than fake loyalty? Is not that better than him saying all the right things in public while secretly wanting to leave? Bruno has given Manchester United 6 incredible years. He has been our best player, our most consistent performer, our leader in difficult times. He has earned the right to think about his future and plan what comes next in his career. He is 31 years old. He probably has 5 or 6 more years playing at the top level. Is it really wrong for him to want to experience different leagues? To test himself in new environments? To give his daughter the chance to grow up in the country where she was born? I do not think so. I think it is completely understandable and actually quite reasonable. The key thing to remember is that Bruno has said he wants to stay at United as long as he feels wanted. That is not a threat. That is not him trying to force a move. That is him being clear about what he needs from the club. Make him feel wanted. Build a winning team. Compete for trophies. Do those things and Bruno will stay. Fail to do those things and yes, he will leave. But that would be United's fault, not Bruno's. As fans, we should appreciate what we have while we have it. Bruno Fernandes is one of the best midfielders in the world. A true leader. A warrior on the pitch. Someone who genuinely cares about Manchester United and wants us to succeed. Every match he plays for us is a blessing. Every goal he scores. Every assist he makes. Every moment of magic. We should be enjoying it all rather than worrying about when it will end. Because eventually, every player leaves. That is football. That is life. What matters is what they do while they are here. And Bruno has been absolutely magnificent for Manchester United. So instead of being upset about him talking about Spain and Italy, let's focus on the present. Let's enjoy watching him play. Let's hope we can win trophies together before he moves on. Let's make sure he knows how much the fans appreciate everything he does. And when the time comes for him to leave, whether that is in 2027 or earlier, let's send him off as the hero he is. Let's thank him for everything. Let's wish him well wherever he goes next. Because that is what class clubs do for their legends. Why this matters for United's long-term future. Let me talk about the bigger picture here. What does Bruno's eventual departure mean for Manchester United as a football club? It means United are going to lose their most important player. The guy who has carried the team for 6 years. The player who makes everything tick. The creative force. The leader. That is a massive hole to fill. Since Bruno joined in January 2020, He has been involved in more goals than any other United player. He has created more chances than anyone else. He has played more matches than anyone else. Those statistics show just how vital he has been. When he leaves, United will need to replace not just one player but what feels like 3 players' worth of production. His creativity, his goals, his leadership. Finding all of that in one person is nearly impossible. Some fans think United will be fine. That they can buy another creative midfielder. That no player is bigger than the club. And technically that is true. But good luck finding someone as good as Bruno for any reasonable price. Players with his combination of skills do not grow on trees. They cost £100 million or more if you can even find them on the market. And there is no guarantee they will adapt to the Premier League or click with the team. United need to start planning now for life after Bruno. Not in 2 years when he leaves. Right now. They need to identify potential replacements. They need to build relationships with agents. They need to get ready. Maybe Kobbie Mainoo develops into a world-class midfielder who can partially fill the void. But he is a different type of player. More box-to-box than pure creator. He cannot do everything Bruno does. Mason Mount has shown flashes of quality but not the consistency or the goal output. Christian Eriksen is too old. Casemiro is leaving. Ugarte has not worked out. Who else is there? United will need to spend huge money on midfielders when Bruno leaves. Probably £150 to £200 million on 2 or 3 quality players. And even then, there is no guarantee they will find the right ones. This is why keeping Bruno happy for the next couple of years is so crucial. Not just for what he gives you now, but for the time it buys you to plan properly for the future. The reality of modern football. Bruno's situation also highlights something important about modern football. About loyalty and how it works in today's game. Players are expected to be loyal. To turn down big money offers. To stay at clubs even when better opportunities exist. Fans demand it. Clubs expect it. Everyone acts like loyalty is the most important thing. But then clubs show no loyalty back. They sell players whenever it suits them financially. They push out legends to save on wages. They make decisions based purely on money. Bruno turned down £700,000 per week from Saudi Arabia. He gave United his loyalty. And then he found out the club was happy to sell him anyway. They saw him as a way to make £100 million profit. Where was the loyalty from United? This is the fundamental problem. Loyalty only goes one way in modern football. From players to clubs. Not the other way around. Bruno has every right to think about his future. Every right to plan his next move. Every right to be honest about wanting to play in Spain and Italy. Because United showed him that loyalty is not valued or reciprocated. I am not saying players should have no loyalty at all. I am not saying they should leave at the first opportunity. But I am saying that loyalty has to be a two-way street. Clubs need to show players they are valued. Not just when they are performing well but in how they are treated and respected. Manchester United failed Bruno in that regard last summer. Now they need to make it right. They need to prove his loyalty was not wasted. They need to show him he matters. If they can do that, Bruno will stay and give United his best years. If they cannot, he will leave and nobody can blame him for it. Final thoughts. Bruno Fernandes has opened up about his future and told us his dreams. Spain to experience a new league. Italy to return to a country he loves. Maybe Portugal to finish his career where it all began. These are not crazy demands. These are not outrageous ambitions. These are the thoughtful plans of a player who has achieved so much but still wants more from his career. As Manchester United fans, we should not be angry about this honesty. We should appreciate it. We should be grateful that Bruno has been so open with us about his thinking. He has earned the right to plan his next move. He has given United 6 brilliant years. He has been professional and committed every single day. He has performed at the highest level week after week despite the team around him not always being good enough. If he wants to experience La Liga, good for him. If he wants to take his daughter back to the country where she was born, that is beautiful. If he dreams of finishing at Sporting, we should understand. The key is that Bruno wants to stay at United as long as he feels wanted. That gives the club a clear path forward. Make him feel valued. Build a team that can win trophies. Treat him with the respect he deserves. Do those things and we keep Bruno. Fail to do them and we lose him. It really is that simple. My hope is that United learn from last summer's mistake. That they realize what they have in Bruno. That they do everything possible to keep him happy and committed. Because once he is gone, we will miss him terribly. We will realize just how much he meant to this club. Just how important he was to everything we did. Just how difficult he is to replace. Bruno Fernandes is a legend. One of the best signings United have made in years. He deserves to be treated like one. Whether he stays until 2027 or leaves before then, whether he goes to Spain or Italy or Portugal, he will always be remembered as a warrior who gave everything for Manchester United. And that is what matters most. Stay connected with United Daily Updates. That covers everything about Bruno Fernandes and his future plans after Manchester United. From Spain to Italy to Portugal, we have broken down where he might go and what it all means. This is the kind of detailed, honest analysis you get from United Daily Updates. We do not just repeat headlines. We dig deeper. We help you understand what is really happening at our club. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, do it right now. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. We cover every single development at Manchester United with the depth it deserves. We will keep following Bruno's situation closely. Every contract update. Every transfer rumour. Every hint about his future. You will hear it here first with full analysis of what it means. Drop a comment below and tell me your thoughts. Where would you like to see Bruno play after United? Spain or Italy? Would you be sad if he left, or do you understand his desire for new challenges? Which club would suit him best? Your opinions matter to us. We are a community of United fans who care deeply about this club. Join the conversation and let your voice be heard. Together we will follow Bruno's journey wherever it leads. Whether that is more years at United winning trophies or a move abroad to fulfill his dreams. We will be there every step of the way. Thank you for reading this in-depth look at Bruno Fernandes and his future. See you in the next update with more Manchester United news and analysis. Glory, glory, Man United. Let's hope we can keep Bruno happy and at Old Trafford for as long as possible.